Hello. Yes, hello. This is Jürgen with Tech Talk, episode number 9. So, welcome to our show. Again, this is Tech Talk, hosted by Vero's Voice Studio and also by ACT Computers. And today we don't have a guest in the studio. We'll have that next week. Nobody volunteered, but we'll have one next week. So this time we are talking about internet phone connectivity. Particularly how nowadays it is so easy how to talk online on the internet, being able to communicate, which has been a problem in the past. When I was born, we used the rotary phones, dial one number after another. Pulse dial took a long time, and you had to obviously pay for long distance charges that were outrageous. So especially when we started using cell phones and you had to use long distance, you were paying a lot for that by the minute. I actually have some friends who own boats, and they were using emergency cell phones, satellite phones, and they were charging like $3-4 a minute for any kind of phone usage if you're out on the water. So obviously that all has changed nowadays, thank God. So now we have what's called voice over IP. So that's VoIP, or Voice over Internet Protocol. And basically what that means is nowadays, through many services, phone calls, like traditionally used to be over the copper lines, are being digitally transferred through the internet, making it very simple. For example, I'm talking to my fiance right now overseas using WhatsApp. Wonderful to do because it doesn't cost me anything. It's completely clear quality picture and actually video also. And you can actually talk without having to worry about by the minute. Because I remember how it used to be in the past, where you had to hurry up. You could only really tell the people the details and you had to hang up because it was costing too much money. Nowadays, it doesn't really matter. So we have come a long way. So I was going to talk about that, technically, how that works. So we all know we're using cell phones nowadays. So when you're actually doing a voice over IP phone call, you're using a service. So you're using some kind of company or any kind of internet service that allows you to dial out, many times, sometimes even a real number, or you're just connecting with them through their name. So the most popular program out there in the world is actually WhatsApp, which WhatsApp actually has a version that is for regular consumers, and WhatsApp also has a version that's for business use. And I utilize both versions, and it's totally free. It's actually made by Facebook. Facebook acquired that a while ago, a couple of years ago, even though Facebook has their own Facebook Messenger, so it's kind of conflict right there. It's actually somebody calling me right now. But, Facebook Messenger is only really meant for chit-chatting back and forth. It's not really meant for business use, whereas WhatsApp Business is meant for business use, as the name says. Very nice thing about that is it's very clear, very easy to use, no commercials, and not much of that stuff around to confuse you during the day. It just shows the basic stuff, and it's wonderful. So for business use, I definitely recommend using WhatsApp Business. You can have a chat room, for example, where all your employees can talk to each other and see what's new, and you can push out updates to everybody to see what's happening. Very, very nice. And then, of course, if you're somewhere and need to send a picture to somebody, that works very well. And also do the video chat. Works amazing. And then, of course, like a lot of people use Facebook Messenger, which works quite well too. There are tons of other ones out there too, not that popular ones. I mean, obviously, if you have an Apple device, an iPhone, using what's called Apple's FaceTime, which has been around for a long time, and that also works really, really well. FaceTime is actually one of the best picture qualities I've ever seen to talk to other people around the world. But now just imagine that, 20 years ago, you couldn't do a video call. That was all just, futuristic science fiction. And nowadays, we don't even think about it anymore. When you call people, crystal clear connection, you can see them in high definition quality on the other end in real time on the other side of the planet. Amazing. And of course, that is a big hit to the cell phone companies or the phone companies, because they used to make money on long distance, which obviously nobody really pays for long distance anymore, including myself. So, because I used to spend quite a bit of money on that. Works very well. Let's talk about phones a little bit. Obviously, if you have any kind of old cell phone, like an old flip phone, that doesn't work for you. But any kind of modern smartphone can handle talking over the internet. Many phones are actually smart enough to realize that if you are within your own Wi-Fi connection and your own local wireless internet connection in your house or your business, to start using that Wi-Fi connection to actually send out the phone calls. You're actually not using the cell phone network. Once you leave your building or your home, you are using the cell phone network, and you can talk to everybody on the road, which obviously goes towards your data plan. I was actually quite surprised. I use my cell phone for just about everything, to run my business, lots of things. And you can also use your cell phone as an access point or a wireless device. They call that a mobile hotspot. And what that is, I was going to talk about a little bit. Using a mobile hotspot from your cell phone is quite a good idea. So you basically pay a little extra a month as a service fee to your provider, but it allows you to turn your cell phone into a wireless hotspot, wireless access device. So you can be on the road, and now you can use your laptop connected to your cell phone to go on the internet and do anything you want. So now you're no longer restricted by being on the road. For example, a couple days ago, I was out on the road and I had to do something in my own system. I just pull aside, find a parking lot, open up my laptop and my cell phone. I'm able to connect it right to my office and do everything I can possibly do remotely from my laptop using my cell phone connection, using my phone. It works very well. Now, when I first started doing this a while ago, I noticed the speed was so-so, wasn't that great. And so, because I was also using it for my own house and watching TV and using my cell phone basically for everything to supply the entire internet to my home. Well, that was not too good because the connection speed was being throttled by the cell phone company. So I upgraded my plan for a minimal amount of money, and they released the speed, and it's amazingly fast now. I didn't expect that. I mean, just as an example, last night I was watching 4K television, streaming Netflix from my cell phone connection, and also online on my computer using the same connection, being remoted into my work computer. And everything was working just fine. Speed, fantastic, no problem whatsoever. So, I kind of recommend to people who don't want, like myself, who are not at home all day long, and you don't want to pay for an internet connection that's just sitting all day long at your home, is just to use your cell phone as your hotspot. So wherever you go, you take your cell phone anyway, you have internet, open up your laptop, and you're ready to go. So that's a really big money and time saver for me. It's very convenient. Also, we're going to talk about, so let's say you have relatives in another country, and you want to be able to talk to them remotely. It used to be, like I said, regular phone calls, emails, and then we finally moved over to voicemail, to video calls and stuff like that. WhatsApp, again, is the way to go, I think. Facebook Messenger really works very well too, but you need to have a good internet connection for that. Nice thing also, what has been popping up lately, if you have elderly people, grandparents who are not so within the technology and don't know how to handle the phone, because it can be intimidating. There's lots of buttons to push, lots of things to do. Is I recommend getting something like a portal device. Now, Facebook and Amazon and Lenovo, they all have these devices now. And if you look around the big box stores, they have them. We're going to start carrying them too at ACT Computers. And basically what it is, it's a simplified way of communicating. So you basically have a digital picture frame in your house, and that's the portal, okay? And all it does, it has a camera on it, and you're just talking back and forth using that device to somebody. So it's fully integrated. You don't need to push any buttons. If you get a phone call over there, it shows up, you take the call, you can see each other. There's nothing to configure, a download on software that can really get in the way. So I really recommend these things. It's a great way of communicating. They're very sharp, very easy to use, and they're not expensive at all anymore. Whereas nowadays with technology, nothing really is expensive anymore, considering how it used to be. So this is really a lot of things are happening in that space. Also, as you probably see on the video here, I'm wearing what's called a smartwatch. So right now, there's a picture on there of my fiance, because I like looking at her. Smartwatch is also a great way to communicate. This particular one is a Samsung smartwatch, Series 4, I believe. Apple has the same deal going on. Apple also has the Apple Watch, which has been around for a long time now. I think we're on version 6 now, maybe. I'm not too sure. But also these watches are pretty much like like we used to watch Dick Tracy using his shoe to talk and communicate. Kind of funny. When it first came out, people were like, "Oh, that's just another gimmick. That's not going to save me any time." But being able to make phone calls through your wrist is quite amazing, because you can actually make phone calls just by talking in it, receive messages. And what I really like about it is I don't have to pull out my cell phone. So if somebody calls me and it goes to voicemail, it asks me, "Hey, do you want to send a message, a quick reply?" I say, "Hey, I'll call you right back." I hit the button and I call you right back. It is really a cool way of communicating nowadays. And a smart watch is something I use every day, and I highly recommend it. And I think we're about 2 minutes before we go to break, but we'll talk about more about smartwatches afterwards, which are really a great way to communicate nowadays. We are not carrying those at ACT Computers, but we do cell phone repair. I do want to bring up that for a second. We started pushing that out about a month ago, and we've been quite successful at it, and being able to help our clients get their cell phones repaired within a couple hours and get them back working. Because, nowadays, the cell phone is so important. If I leave that in the house, I feel like I left an organ sometimes. It sounds funny, but, it's really your all-in-one. There's so much information on there. And if it breaks, you realize it right away. Things happen all the time. Like myself, I just broke the back glass on my phone because I dropped it a couple days ago. So I need to fix it, and I know where to take it. Anyway, we'll be right back. Thank you.
Is your local full-service computer center serving individuals and businesses since 1995. Our strong continuing commitment to quality products and professional service is truly reflected in our everyday work. We want our customers to be satisfied with their purchases to establish a very good, long-lasting customer relationship. The computer industry is becoming more and more crowded every day. With technology moving faster and faster, one important item seems to disappear: commitment to customer satisfaction. We personally answer all our phone calls during regular business hours. You will be talking to a very qualified technician, not a phone answering service or automated system. Our specialties include computer repair, virus removal, networking, 24-hour turnaround, custom-built computers, servers, backups, cloud computing, notebooks, netbooks, ultrabooks, troubleshooting, IP cameras and security, and our store is located at US 1, 1525 US 1, Vero Beach, Florida. Call 772-567-7888. That's 772-567-7888. At Computers, committed to our customers.
And we're back with ACT Computers hosting Tech Talk. And today we are talking about cell phones, being able to communicate online, how much easier it is nowadays to stay in contact with your loved ones and friends all around the world. And we just, before we went on break, we talked about using smartwatches, which is a great combination to have with your cell phone. So as I said earlier, this is a Samsung Smartwatch Series 4, talking to my Samsung Galaxy phone. This is a Note 10. It's a little older now, but it serves me perfectly fine, and it does everything I wanted to do. So benefits of having a smartwatch is, first of all, being able to take phone calls without picking up your cell phone. It looks a little funny when you talk to your wrist, but it actually does work quite well. And then also with the other features, we never even thought about it. So let's say you're on vacation and you want to take a photo of your entire family, but you want to be in it. So you don't want to ask a volunteer to take a photo for you. So the way I can do it, for example, is if you use a smartwatch on a cell phone, you can actually pull up your camera from your cell phone onto the smartwatch. Then you can put your phone wherever you want to position it, and you can take a remote picture. So while you basically stand with your family or friends, you can take a picture of everybody without having to worry about somebody holding the phone. Really neat. It's a real party trick right there. I've shown that to my friends a couple of times, and they're all amazed. And really cool thing. Apple does it, Android does it, Samsung, all of these companies offer that now. Really cool. And also something I use myself is the maps. When you actually have this linked together properly and you're driving down the road, you have Google Maps up running and it's guiding you where you need to go. The phone will actually show the same information as your watch. So your watch actually has the map on it. So if you're going down the road, it's almost like a compass and tells you very quickly, hey, you need to turn left or you need to get out of this exit. You will even vibrate a little bit your arm, telling you, hey, pay attention, something's coming up. It is really amazing. Even just walking around a large city or something like that, you can use your wristwatch and be able to navigate. It is really cool. One of the features that I used last couple of months, a friend of mine is elderly and was falling over, having medical problems. And we thought, hey, what can we do to help him and getting alerted if something goes wrong with him? And also using the smartwatches, now you can program these things to have an alert. So they have so many options built in to keep track of your heart rate and an EKG and all these different things. So this thing measures, all day long what's going on. And they can sense if, let's say, somebody's falling over on the ground or unresponsive or medically something is a problem with the heart rate dropping. And you can tell these devices to call 911 and to also notify you. Very cool. So definitely something recommended if you have somebody who needs some attention and you want to make sure you get alerted if something's going on. Nothing's perfect out there, but this is a great invention, I think, and that is really something I would buy it for anybody who needs this. And we're going to talk about also about cell phones in general, how they have been changing around. When I started with cell phones, well, I started with beepers, which were really annoying. Actually flushed my beeper down the toilet once by accident. But remember these devices, they just beeped, hung on your belt, and give you some message, some cryptic message to call somebody back. Yeah, so those went away, thank God. And we now then started using cell phones, like we used Sony Ericsson phones back then, Nextel, like a walkie-talkie type phones, which worked quite well, but very bulky. And then the phones started getting smaller and smaller. And obviously, when Apple came about with the iPhone, other companies were laughing about this, like, oh my God, who's going to use a screen like that as a cell phone? That's just not going to work. Everybody wants buttons. So, but we all know what happened. The iPhone revolutionized the cell phone industry entirely. And so after that, everybody went the same route. Buttons disappeared, so there really aren't any buttons left anymore. I used to use also what is called, it's a convertible phone which had buttons on it to type and stuff like that. But meantime, the text-to-speech has gotten so good, and being able to type on the screen, you've gotten used to it. It works very well. So I thought about it, actually upgrading my phone about a couple months ago to a newer type of phone. So if you look online, there's a lot of things going on in the stores now where the phones are going over to the next evolution. So phones are getting bigger, obviously, but they're getting to the point where they barely fit in your pocket now. But they make phones now that you can actually fold up. So Samsung released those, other companies. Apple, I think, might be working on one. So that's the next way. So, why would you want to fold a phone? Well, to have more screen. So you have more area on the screen to work with. So I looked at one, it's called the Galaxy Fold 4. It was quite expensive. I didn't go for it yet. But being able to have a phone that basically flips up like a book, and you can have almost using like a tablet, that's very enticing to me, because I can really use that almost like a laptop, like a notebook, and be able to do work on it. Sadly, that generation I looked at, the battery life was not that great. So you kind of have to think about it. You are using a large screen and another screen on the front to keep you informed. Now you have a phone that needs to run 3 screens at once with one battery. So your battery life is not that great. So, it's again kind of heavy too. So I'm gonna wait a little bit on these things, but I'm quite excited on what's going to be coming out on cell phones next year and the years after that, because it's just going to get more advanced. People always ask me, it's like, oh wow, the cell phone has so much power now, computing power, and there's more cell phone. Cell phone now only has more processing power than desktops had 10 years ago, way more. Even graphical capabilities. We see, when it comes to taking pictures and stuff like that, obviously, not many people use cameras anymore, because the cell phone cameras have gotten so good, it kind of really killed the camera business for the consumer. So, you don't want to lug around a big camera, so you use a cell phone all the time, and the picture quality has gotten quite amazing. I just looked at some phones that have 100 megapixel camera on them, which is amazing, because that's resolution that's unbelievable, including optical zoom, and all that is built into a little tiny cell phone. It's quite unbelievable what's happening there. But another feature I was going to talk about is on certain cell phones that many people don't utilize, and I started utilizing that. Is if you have like a Samsung Galaxy phone, you can basically use it as a desktop computer. So you can basically link this to your Samsung TV, or using a cable to any TV, and use it with a keyboard and mouse, and the screen will basically take up the entire screen of the television as a full desktop. So you basically have almost like a desktop computer once you plug it in. And now, I'm not going to say it's a replacement for a real computer, but for something on the go where you need to browse the internet on a big screen or show something in a presentation, it works really well. I'm quite amazed on how the phone can do that. Because I said that was impossible a long time ago. But anyway, I think we're almost 5 minutes to go into the program. I was going to announce one thing that we have coming up and do a little spiel for my company. Again, ACT Computers. We've been around since 1995. We've done a lot of computers work repair in towns. And we like to be involved with the community quite a bit. So if you have a business that needs help with the IT work, we can help you with that. And we also like to educate our customers. So we offer free seminars to come to your business, talk about cybersecurity, and educate your employees on what to do online and what not to do. And we just talked about this. Last year, we had a very nice event at my business, which we are located in the Kmart Plaza, 1525 US 1. We have a beautiful showroom and a nice setup in there. And last year, we had a business networking event held there. We had a very good reception there. So this year, we're doing the same thing. We are actually inviting all our businesses in town to participate, come in. This is going to be announced sometime in October. We will have a Halloween after our business networking event where we have drinks and music, and we will be able to network at night. And also, because it's Halloween based, we have a costume contest. So whoever has the best outfit is going to win a laptop from us. So we will be announcing that on Facebook. We just put a Facebook video on there last night. But I think that's a great thing to get everybody together for Halloween and have a good time. Anyway, also we do obviously computer repair all day long. If you need anything done with your computer, we do repairs 24 hours a day. That means if you bring something in, we have it back to you by next day. That is mostly true for most jobs. Some jobs take a little longer, but we do have just about everything in stock we need for daily repairs, so we can actually get this done properly. So if you have a business and you need a computer done right now, you're welcome to bring it in, and we can work on it and get it back to you very quickly, so there's no downtime for your employees. One thing I was going to mention also, kind of a little bit off topic there, but more technical. As we all know, everybody is now using the cloud or internet for their business to do anything, really. We started recommending to a lot of businesses in town to install a dual internet connection, and we can help you with that too. You can give us a call at 772-567-7888 or on our website for www.actcomp.us, or Facebook. It's under ACT Vero. We're very busy down there. We post at least 2-3 times a day. But dual internet connection is the way to go, because if one internet connection goes down, the other one takes over right away, and everybody's happy. Nobody has to go home from work because they can't do their work. So very important nowadays, because you can't just rely on one internet connection. They all go down eventually. So anyway, that's all we have today, and that is it. And next week, I said we're going to have a guest on the stage here talking to me. We don't know yet who it is, but we'll pick a volunteer. And again, thank you very much. Jürgen with ACT Computers. Bye-bye.